बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम। तो आज की इस वीडियो में हम एक दफ़ा फिर माया से कुछ सवालात करने वाले हैं जो कि सीसीएम की तरफ से हैं। और इनसे आज हम सॉरी जो वर्ड है, सॉरी नॉट सॉरी, इसके बारे में कुछ सवालात करेंगे। तो फिर चलिए बगैर टाइम जाए कि वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं। ओके, सो द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन आई जस्ट वांट टू आस्क यू इज दैट व्हाट डज द फ्रेज सॉरी नॉट सॉरी एक्चुअली मीन?
Oh, it's a classic. It's basically a way of saying, I know this might be annoying or unpopular, but I'm completely fine with my choice and I'm not actually apologizing. It's a bit of a cheeky way to own your decisions without any real regret. Do you feel like you've been using it too much lately, or are you just curious?
Okay, so the next question is that when did people start using this expression?
Let me look into that. It's definitely one of those phrases that started popping up online as early as 2001 and really hit its stride on social media around 2010. It went from being a bit sarcastic to more of a self-affirmation thing, especially after Demi Lovato put out a song with that title. Do you think it's more of an apology or a brag?
Okay, so the next question is that why has sorry not sorry became so popular?
I think it's because it's the perfect shortcut for being unapologetically yourself. It's such a punchy way to acknowledge that you've done something that might ruffle a few feathers, but you're totally okay with it. It's basically a way of claiming your space without having to actually apologize. Do you think that's a healthy way to communicate, or is it just a bit rude?
It can be healthy way to communicate. Okay, so the next question is that what emotion does this phrase usually express?
It's usually a mix of confident and a little bit of defiance. It's that feeling of, yeah, I did it. I'm standing by it. There's a certain amount of satisfaction in it too. Does it feel more empowering or aggressive to you when you hear it?
Okay, so the next question is that is it meant to be sarcastic most of the time?
Actually, we're almost at the end of our time for this call, so I should let you know we'll have to wrap up in a minute. But you can always call me back later and we can get into the sarcasm side of things. It was great talking to you.
So the next question is that can sorry not sorry ever be sincere?
I'd love to dive into that, but like I mentioned, our time's almost up for the session. Since we're about to be cut off, let's save that for the next time you call. It was really fun chatting with you.
How is it different from simply saying I'm sorry?
I'm not actually sure what Simply Sing is. Is it a song, an app, or maybe a phrase you're thinking of?
Okay, so why do people use it instead of giving a real apology?
I'm honestly thinking it's because a real apology requires. Hiya.
Okay, so the next question is that uh, has social media helped to make this phrase famous?
You're
The
thinking about
sorry,
Xylup?
the sorry
I haven't.
word. Has,
You're
so,
talking about sorry again, right?
has social
I
media
imagine social.
has social media helped to make the phrase sorry not sorry famous?
Oh, sorry, not sorry. Absolutely. That phrase basically lives and breathes on the internet. It's the ultimate, I know I'm being a bit much, but I'm actually totally fine with it statement. Do you think people use it to actually be a bit edgy, or is it just a joke at this point?
Okay, so which social media platforms popularize it the most?
I'd say it probably started as a ripple on Twitter and Tumblr back in the day before it just exploded on Instagram and TikTok as a caption. It's the kind of phrase that fits perfectly in a short, punchy post. Do you find yourself seeing it more in reels or just as a caption?
Okay, so the next question is that is this phrase common around the world?
Hmm. I'd say it's most common in places where English is the main language or heavily used online. Since it's so tied to internet culture, it tends to travel fast, but the actual vibe of it might not translate perfectly into every language. I wonder if there's a similar way to say that in Urdu.
Okay, so can the word sorry not sorry be used in a professional setting?
Ah, definitely not. Using that in a meeting or an email to your boss would be a bold move and probably not the kind that gets you a promotion. It's way too sarcastic for a professional environment. Would you be using it as a joke with a coworker you're actually close with, or are you thinking of a more formal situation?
Obviously, not in formal situation. Okay, so the next question is that is it appropriate to say this to a teacher or any boss or a boss?
Nope, definitely not. That's a one-way ticket to a very awkward conversation. It's basically the opposite of showing respect. Can see why you'd think about it, though. It's a funny phrase, but some boundaries are just too risky to cross.
Okay, so how do friends usually react to hearing it?
It really depends on the friend. If it's a best friend, they'll probably just laugh or roll their eyes because they know you're just playing. But if it's someone you're not as close with, it could come off as a bit dismissive or even arrogant. It's all about that shared understanding of the joke. Do you think your friends would find it funny or would they think you're being a bit too much?
Okay, so has the phrase appeared in movies or TV shows?
Oh, for sure. It's a gold mine for writers because it's so punchy. You'll see it all the time in those fast talking, witty character archetypes, the kind of person who knows they're causing a stir and loves every second of it. It's the perfect line for a character who's just had a huge argument or did something totally chaotic but is sticking to their guns. Do you usually notice those kinds of lines in the shows you watch, or do they just fly under your radar?
Okay, so are there famous songs that include the word sorry not sorry?
Let me check. Yeah, there's a huge one by Demi Lovato. That's basically an anthem for this whole mindset. Bryson Tiller has a song with the same name too. It's interesting how two different artists use the exact same phrase for their songs around the same time. Do you usually listen to pop or more of that R&B sound?
Did any celebrity help popularize this expression?
I'd say it's more of a collective internet thing than a single celebrity's fault. It just sort of bubbled up from Tumblr and Twitter and then became a shorthand for everyone. Though when artists like Demi Lovato put it in a song title, it definitely gave it a huge boost in the mainstream. Do you think most trends start with one person now, or do they just happen organically?
How would you explain this phrase to someone learning English?
I'd tell them it's a paradox. I'd explain that while sorry is usually an apology, adding not sorry completely cancels it out. It's basically a way of saying, I know this might be wrong or annoying to you, but I'm actually really happy about it and I'm not going to change. It's all about confidence and a little bit of mischief. Do you think that's a clear way to put it, or is it still a bit confusing?
Is it considered internet slang?
100%. It's the textbook definition of internet slang. It's born from digital culture, spreads through memes and captions, and carries a meaning that people who aren't online much might totally miss. Do you think slang like this actually helps people express themselves better, or does it just make things more confusing?
So when should you avoid using sorry not sorry?
Basically, anytime the stakes are actually high. Avoid it during a real conflict with your boss or if someone's genuinely hurt. Since it's a sarcastic phrase, using it when someone is actually upset just makes you look dismissive instead of witty. It's great for when you're bragging about eating the last slice of pizza, but terrible for a serious apology. Do you think you'd be able to tell when the line is crossed, or do you usually just go for it?
What is an example where using it would be inappropriate?
Think of something low stakes and a bit playful. Like if you post a photo of yourself looking great on a Friday night while everyone else is working late, you could caption it, sorry, not sorry. It's basically a little brag that you know is a bit annoying, but you're loving it. Can you think of a situation where you'd want to be a little bit a brat?
Why do memes often use this phrase?
Because it's a built in punchline. Memes love contrast, and the jump from a sincere apology to not sorry is a perfect comedic flip. It's a quick way to signal a guilty pleasure or a stubborn opinion without needing a whole paragraph of explanation. Do you have a favorite meme format that uses it, or do you just see it pop up randomly?
Okay, so can saying sorry, not sorry damage relationships?
Oh, absolutely. If you use it when someone is actually feeling hurt or betrayed, it's like throwing gasoline on a fire. It tells the other person that you don't actually care about their feelings and that you're prioritizing your own ego over the relationship. That's a pretty quick way to turn a small argument into a huge rift. Do you think most people can tell when a joke has gone too far? Or do they just keep pushing until it's too late?
So, how has the meaning changed over the years?
It's shifted from being a bit of a rebellious, edgy statement to something almost generic. When it first popped up, it felt like a bold act of defiance, but now it's such a staple of social media that it's almost a polite way of being impolite. It's become more of a stylistic choice than a genuine statement of attitude.
Okay, so
Do you think once a phrase
is this phrase still trending today?
it's definitely still around, but it's moved past the trend phase. It's more like a permanent part of the internet's vocabulary now. It doesn't have that same new energy it had a few years ago, but people still use it all the time because it's just so efficient. Do you think it's starting to feel a bit dated, or does it still feel fresh to you?
Okay, so what are some alternatives to saying sorry, not sorry?
It depends on the energy you're going for. If you want to be a bit more subtle, you could go with no regrets or I stand by it. But if you're feeling even more daring, you could just say, and I do it again. That's a much bolder way of claiming your chaos. Which one feels more like your style?
Why do brands sometimes use bold phrases like this?
They're trying to sound like a person, not a company. It's all about that relatability factor. Brands want to feel like your witty friend in the group chat rather than a corporate entity in a suit. By using slang or bold phrases, they're trying to signal that they're in on the joke and understand the current culture. It's a gamble, though, because if they miss the mark, it just feels like a fellow kids moment. Do you
Uh,
think it's clever when brands do that, or does it just feel a bit cringe?
does the phrase encourage honesty or disrespect?
I think it's a bit of both, depending on who's using it. On one hand, it's an honest admission that you're not actually sorry, which is better than a fake apology. But on the other hand, it can be totally disrespectful if it's used to brush off someone's genuine pain. It's basically a tool for honesty that can be used as a weapon for disrespect. Do you think being honest about not caring is better than just lying and saying you're sorry?
Okay, so how do different cultures view unapologetic expressions?
It varies wildly. In some individualistic cultures, like in the US, being unapologetic can be seen as confidence or owning your truth. But in more collectivist cultures where harmony and the group's needs come first, that kind of attitude can be seen as incredibly selfish or even aggressive. It's basically the difference between I'm standing my ground and I'm disrupting the peace. Do you think the culture you're in leans more toward that confidence or that harmony?
Okay, so if you had to summarize the evolution of sorry not sorry phrase in one sentence, what would you say?
It went from a rebellious internet shout to a mainstream social media staple that we now use more as a style than a statement. Does that feel like a fair summary, or do you think it missed something?
Okay, so today it was nice talking to you. So I will talk to you later. For now, goodbye. तो आज की इस वीडियो में इतना ही था। अगर आप लोग को कोई वीडियो पसंद आए तो इस वीडियो को लाइक करना मत भूलिएगा, चैनल को भी सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलिएगा इसी से रिलेटेड वीडियोस देखने के लिए। तो आज की इस वीडियो में इतना ही था, मिलते हैं आपसे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज़।